All right, Commissioner, Chair Curry, we have
Yes.
Singh and Greg also on the line, so we can go and start.
Okay, thank you. We're calling the meeting to order at 6:15. And I guess we'll have Commissioner Salas lead us in the flag salute since Commissioner Singh is online.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez is absent. Commissioner Salas,
Here.
Commissioner Sandhu,
Here.
Commissioner Singh, Commissioner Singh is online, I think.
Here, yes.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Juarez is absent and Chair Curry.
Here. Potential conflicts of interest. Any commissioner who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. During the public hearing, I will first ask for staff's comments and reports on the item being discussed. After staff's presentation, I will then open the hearing to the public testimony. I will then close the public hearing, at which time no member of the public shall address the commission unless specifically asked by a member of the commission through the chair. The Planning Commission will then discuss the matter among themselves and take action on the item being considered. Oral communications. At this time, any member of the public may address the commission regarding any item over which the commission has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the chairperson for review. Members of the public shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes.
As a reminder, the callers on the line, please use *9 to raise your virtual hand and *6 to mute yourself. Chair Curry, we do have 2 people online, but none have raised their hand.
Thank you. Consent calendar. All items listed under consent calendar are considered routine. The complete consent calendar will be enacted by one motion by roll call vote. For purposes of discussion, any commission member may have an item removed from the consent calendar and made part of the regular agenda. The commission can then approve the remainder of the consent calendar. Consideration and necessary action on the minutes of the September 26, 2022 meeting.
I motion to approve. I second.
Roll call, Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Singh,
Yes.
and for the record, we do have a first by Sandhu, Commissioner Sandhu, second by Salas, and Chair Curry.
Yes. Public hearing. Consideration and necessary action of a resolution to consider approval of the conditional use permit to allow for the construction of a new gas station and mini mart at 1635 2nd Street and accompanied notice of exemption. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Planning Commission. Contract City Planner Trevor Stearns. Staff has prepared a brief presentation for you all just to go over the project and some of the specifics. So next slide, please. This project is located near the 99 corridor over there on 2nd Street and Young Street. This project is proposing the allowance for the construction and use of a new gas station and mini mart at the specific address of 1635 Second Street, which is the project location that I alluded to in the beginning. The site is planned and zoned for highway commercial, which is conducive to the use of the proposal. There is a project location map on the screen there, and it shows the location of the proposed project. The parcel lines are a bit skewed due to spatial referencing. So that is not the specific parcel lines, but you get the gist of where the project location is from this map. Next slide, please. There is the proposed site plan. The project itself consists of the construction of an approximate 2,000 square foot mini mart with an 8 pump fueling station located down there to the south near the southern property line. In addition to that, you have parking adequate enough to serve both uses of the gas station and the fueling station. In addition, there is a tenant space that is attached to the mini mart, an approximate 700 square foot tenant space. The proposal at the beginning of the project was for a sandwich shop. However, a tenant hasn't been specifically identified. So once that comes to fruition, if a tenant is willing to or wishing to conduct business there, then they don't have to go through the business license process if it's a by right use. If it's not, then obviously we'll have to go through the use permit process as well. So it just depends on the specific use coming into that space. Next slide, please. As for all projects, CEQA compliance, this project is considered an exemption. We used a class 32 categorical exemption, otherwise known as the infill development exemption. And that lays out specific requirements of if the project doesn't exceed certain thresholds, then it can apply for this infill development exemption due to the scope and size of the project, then it fits perfectly within this categorical exemption. So staff's recommendation for this project is for the Planning Commission to approve conditional use permit number 2022-0014 to allow for the construction and use of a gas station / mini mart, along with the consideration and approval of the notice of exemption for the subject site there at 1635 Second Street. If you have any questions, staff is available to answer any of them.
Thank you. I have a quick question. The CUP in here allows also for the sale of alcohol at the mini mart, or is that a separate CUP?
That is a separate CUP. Staff had reached out to the applicant just to confirm that because it all can be wrapped up. However, the applicant's desire is to pursue that at a later date, if at all. So right now it's just the approval of the use of the mini marts selling, sodas, other types of non-alcoholic drinks, snacks, and then also the fueling station.
Okay.
If they did choose to sell alcohol in the future, they would have to have approval before they could do that, both from ABC, Alcoholic Beverage Control, and obviously they would have to amend their existing CUP if this were to be approved tonight. They would have to amend that to then include the sale.
Thank you.
One notation that I'd like to make, I missed this during my presentation, Lupe, if you don't mind going back to the presentation. I just want to show you a visual. We did want to note a revision in the conditions of approval. In condition number 80, under the fire department conditions of approval, it states that the access or the egress of the site that proposes the 12 feet be extended or elongated to 20 feet. We're going to strike that from the conditions of approval due to the size constraints and the overall configuration of the parcel. The viability of the large fire engine maneuvering throughout the on-site circulation here is just not feasible, and it would cause significant revisions to the project and possibly even, making the project not viable for the applicant in the long run. So the proposal, and I spoke with the fire marshal, Anthony Rivez, and Chief Peterson on amending this condition of approval. And through the analysis during our discussion, it was determined that the site, due to its length, is allowable for a fire engine to access the property off of Young Street, but also have adequate space to back up and make that maneuver back onto Young Street to get onto city right of way. In addition, there is the alleyway to the north that also allows for the fire engine to access in the need of fire extinguishing services towards the rear of the property there or at the tenant space. So the removal of the condition is not going to affect the project's ability to receive those emergency services if need be.
So basically, the fire engine can put up a fire at that location anywhere on that site from the alley or from Young Street without causing any blocking to Second Street or the highway access.
That's correct, yes. And also they do have the availability to even enter the site. It's just they won't be exiting off of Young Street, or I'm sorry, onto Second Street. They would just be doing a reverse maneuver back onto Young Street. And the standard requirement of that is if it's less than 150 feet, then that passes the fire code.
Okay. Questions before I open the public hearing? All right, I will now open the public hearing. Anyone would like to speak for or against the project, please come forward, state your name and address, please.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Mubarak. I'm from I own MG Star LLC, and I have Jim from Golden Valley. He's my engineer. If you have any questions, please welcome and give him any questions you like. And I appreciate everything for you guys' support.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak for or against the project?
Yeah, Checker, we do have a GVES here with their hand raised. You can now speak. GVES, it looks like you're muted.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Jim and Rick with Golden Valley Engineering. Really thanks for staff to work with us and with the conditions. I appreciate your guys' support. Hopefully with the approval tonight, and then we can start the construction plan. If any question, we'd like to, happy to answer.
Thank you. Discussion?
As a caller to the reminders on the line, please use *9 to raise your virtual hand and *6 to mute yourself. Chair Curry, we have no other callers online.
All right, I will now close the public hearing and turn it to the Planning Commission for discussion.
Biggest concern was the same one that you already asked about the alcohol sales, because we've already got other things in the area doing that. But if that's not an issue with him, everything else looks like it's okay to me.
Does the city foresee any issues for access or exits as far as traffic on that site?
It is a small site, so the majority of the conversation really had to do with access off of Second Street, which is why the requirement there is that they can only exit the site from Second Street. So again, there wasn't any type of engineering that we could have done or any type of curbing that could be placed that would make it impossible for people to make a left turn onto the site.
Okay.
But we have done, what we far as the signing and striping that will need to be in place. Is it only onto Second Street? And we did have communications with Caltrans on that. Staff and the city engineer and ultimately we felt that it was.
Okay, yeah, that was my concern. I mean, trying to turn left to access, basically while there is a freeway entrance, a freeway exit, and all the traffic on Second Street, that will create a bit of a mess. And then the railroad isn't too far behind. So if we kind of get that long line waiting, so that would create a mess.
Absolutely, all right in line with the items that we discussed.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? No. Well, we will entertain a motion. Oh, Craig has a question.
No, do either of them have anything to say? Greg or Mr. Singh or?
Commissioner Garcia or Commissioner Singh, do you have any comments?
I believe there was a service station or a gas station there previously. Am I correct?
I don't have any record of that. Maybe some historical information. Mr. Mubarak, you said that
Long time
there
ago.
was.
A gas station depot.
So I'm fine because that, if there's one there already, or if there was one, then obviously there's room for another one or for a different one.
Thank you. All right, well, a motion and a second, please.
Entertain a motion.
A second.
Do we need to read the motion? Or basically a motion to approve the resolution to construct a new gas station and mini mart at 1635 Second Street. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Okay, first motion by Commissioner Sandu, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Singh, Commissioner Singh is no longer on the call. Chair Curry,
Yes. All right, well, motion passes. Please inform the applicant. Thank you. Congratulations. Good
Thank you.
luck.
Thank you so much for the support.
You're welcome. Do we move on to the next item or do we wait?
Yeah, if we can wait just one quick minute. The next item is one of the ones that had been requested for continuation. The next two items actually will deal with that. So we will go through them pretty quickly, but if you wouldn't mind just giving Trevor about 60 seconds.
Yeah, no problem.
Watch the previous applicant. Thank you so much.
All right, next item, consideration and necessary action of a resolution for approval of a zoning text amendment number 2022-0008, ordinance to amend the Selma Municipal Code Section 11-28-8 billboards, off premises sign structure. Staff report, please.
So this proposal is the, excuse me, the revision to the current billboard section of the city's municipal code, very reminiscent of the same process that we went through about a month and a half ago or so. Specific section 11-28-8. And what the applicant is proposing to build or to do is to build off of that same zoning text amendment with some revisions of their own. However, the applicant has requested to continue the item to a date certain, which was the upcoming November Planning Commission date, which is the 28th. We're on track for that, but we just wanted to give you an update on applicant's request, and I'm not sure.
So the applicant to revise the code is not the city, it's someone else.
That is correct.
That is correct.
And that is usually, that's common?
It can be either way. It
Okay.
can either be staff driven, or, you know, recommended by the planning commission or city council, that a text amendment then be brought forward by staff, or it can be applicant driven as well. This one in particular was applicant driven. And
Okay,
the applicant here was involved in the text amendment that we went through in the last several months. But there
Okay.
was some additional items that they wanted to see that were not involved in that first one that they would now like to bring forward on their own for additional.
okay,
But they had requested this original date, which we had out the public noticing for. And then after the public noticing had gone out, they then reached out to staff and asked if they could why everything was agendized.
okay.
Will we be having that meeting?
That is the plan. Yeah. According to
Isn't that one of the meetings that we
Yeah.
need to replace with a different one?
You had given us
because,
two dates for
We
November.
did, yeah,
and-
and you didn't have to replace them at all. After we go through this item and the next item, I was then going to have discussions with the commissioners about those dates so that we could just firm them up for November and December. And then that way, you know, we're not going to impact anybody's travel plans and everybody's going to know what dates we're looking at.
Okay.
It's such a busy time of year that we wanted to make sure we got. But I will say with this one that the date certain that we're looking to continue to is the date that staff is recommending for November, is staying with the regular date of the 28th, because that is 4 days after Thanksgiving. It should be enough room there that it's not going to impact anybody's Thanksgiving holiday.
Okay. So we just move on to the next item, or do we need anything to do for the continuation of item 3?
You would just need to, yeah.
We need a
make
motion and a second to continue
correct,
it.
to support the continuation to date certain of 11/28.
Guess we need a motion and a second to move this item number 3 of the agenda to November 28th, which is the Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday.
I make a motion to continue this item to the November 28th Planning Commission meeting.
I second that.
Roll call, please.
We have a motion by Commissioner Salas first and seconded by Commissioner Sandu. Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Singh must have gotten disconnected, so he's no longer on, but Chair Curry.
Yes. Item number 4, consideration and necessary action of a resolution finding annexation number 2021-0009 for approximately 29 acres consistent with the general plan and recommending pre-zoning to regional commercial along with modifications to the site plan to allow for a regional commercial development located north of Floral Avenue, east of DeWolf, and west of State Route 99 into the city of Selma.
Good evening, Planning Commission, Contract City Planner Trevor Stearns. And this proposal for this application is the annexation pre-zone and site plan amendment of this large-scale formerly known as Rockwell Pond, now known as Selma Grove development project, specifically regional commercial development project. The site plan is encompassing approximately 29 acres. In addition, the annexation area is going to include approximately, I'm sorry, I got this looked around. The annexation and pre-zone consists of 29 acres. The site plan consists of 63 acres. However, due to the complexity of the project and the scale, the applicant has requested to continue this item to a date certain, which is that next available planning commission meeting. So we're looking at the November 28th meeting. They wish to go over the conditions of approval and some of the specifics of that, just to make sure that they're comfortable with what's being proposed as a part of that. So with that request, staff recommends that the item be continued to that date certain.
All right. A motion and a second, please, to continue item number 4 on the agenda to the November 28th meeting. Can we entertain public comments on an item that's going to be continued?
If the public comment is in relation to the continuation, then it could be. If it's about any of the specifics on the project, then it wouldn't be the appropriate time because we're not delivering the staff report to discuss those items at this time.
Can we move that to oral communications?
I mean, during oral communications, they could stand up and talk about the address that they had concerns with at that time. It still wouldn't be appropriate to talk about it right now because
Right,
the only
yeah,
action we're
I
looking to take is continuation here. But absolutely, there's the opportunity for oral communications following this where
Right.
that item could absolutely be, they would have their 3 minutes to discuss.
If you don't mind, bear with us until we continue this item to the next meeting, and you'll have a chance to talk about the parcel adjacent to it at the oral communication at the end of our meeting. It is on the November 28th meeting.
She meant today.
Oh,
Have the notification for the meeting.
A continuation, if approved, re-notification is not required if it is continued to a date certain.
The thing is that it is on the agenda and we're acting on the request to have it continued. So if you wouldn't have shown up, you wouldn't have known whether we continued it or whether we discussed it tonight. So
we didn't know it was going to be continued either. The applicant requested it to be continued, so we have to accommodate. So I apologize for the inconvenience for driving out here and not being able to discuss this particular item.
Out to.
you would need to speak to staff in the
Yeah,
planning.
the planning department, because the commissioners, we are not supposed to discuss items on the agenda outside of this meeting for transparency. But if you do have concerns and you'd like to email or talk to staff before the next meeting, they will welcome your comments and they will include them for us for the next meeting. Actually, that would be
Rob Terry.
That's it.
Lupe,
all of
Rob,
us.
basically the gentlemen that are here in this room.
Yeah, there's me. Oh, we were, okay. That okay, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, we'll make sure that you're taken care of.
You're welcome. All right, so a motion and a second to continue item number 4.
I entertain a motion to continue the meeting to November 28th.
Already did.
Oh, sorry, I second it.
Oh.
We have a first for Commissioner Salas and second by Sandu. Commissioner Garcia
Yes.
and Chair Curry.
Yes. So item number 4 will be continued to the November 28th meeting. Oral communications. At this time, any member of the public may address the commission regarding any item over which the commission has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the chairperson for review. Members of the public shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes. If you would like to mention anything or discuss anything at this point, you have 3 minutes. We will not be discussing the item tonight, but we'll gladly hear your concerns. Okay.
As a reminder to callers on the line, please use *9 to raise your virtual hand and *6 to unmute yourself. Chair Curry, no comments online.
All right, thank you. Seeing none. Is there any other things we'd like to discuss before
We
adjourning?
do, Chair Curry. Just wanted to go over those dates for November and December meetings.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So staff was taking a look at the dates for November and December, which we will always do simply because of the holiday season, and we want to be very mindful of everybody's schedule and their timing. So taking a look at November, the fourth Monday of each month is our regular meeting, and then the second Monday of each month is considered to be the alternate date. So looking at the November date, we thought that the 28th still made sense because that was several days past the Thanksgiving holiday.
Right.
So we felt that that would likely still work for the group. I did receive some feedback from several of the commissioners that had said that there would not be any conflicts for them there. So we were going to recommend to maintain our standard date of the fourth Monday in November. So that would be the 28th. But then for December, especially when you have Christmas falling on a Sunday, you then will have the actual holiday during the business week will be considered the next day. So it would be Monday that City Hall would be closed, and we really didn't want to have a meeting that close to the Christmas holiday anyhow. So our recommendation was going to be for December to look at December 12th. And that is if needed. At this time, we don't have any items that would be scheduled for the December 12th, but that doesn't mean that have something come up. So we would be asking the commissioners for your support to maintain the regular meeting November 28th and go for the alternate date for December 12th as needed.
Personally, I might not be able to have the December, might not be able to be here December 12th.
Okay.
But that's if it's needed.
Correct.
I was originally thinking the 19th. But if not, like I said, I mean, maybe Vice Chair Juarez can conduct the meeting. I can be online, but to be honest, when I'm online, I can't see who's raised their hands, if there's anybody for public comments. So I tried once to conduct the meeting online and it was challenging. So I would prefer to be in person but we'll wait and see if the December 12th is available.
Okay.
But I will be here on November 28th.
Other questions or feedback?
I'm fine with the 12th of December and the 28th of November.
I'm fine with both dates as well.
Commissioner Garcia, were you able to hear those dates?
Yes, I was, and both dates work for me.
Thank you.
Perfect. That's what we'll plan on.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Take a motion to adjourn at this point if there's no additional items.
Move to adjourn.
So the meeting is adjourned at 6:48. Thank you.